Today we really are going to go back to the future once again, because I'm going to take that little drone behind me, the XI20, and we're going to tune it with Manus AI. But we're not just going to tune it like we did before, no. We're going to take all of the black box logs and throw that data into Manus so we can do real PID tuning based on actual black box data. Are you excited? I know I am. My name's Johnny. Welcome to the channel, Will It Mod. Will It Mod. You join me once again in Betaflight, having a look through my current config. So we've gone back to a relatively stock tune again. On the PID tuning, we are straight down the middle. Okay, I have set up all the ports as before. I've set up all the motors, so the direction and everything else is correct in here. And I've set up my mode so we can actually fly. Again, this is stuff that is specific to my receiver. It's not going to know that. So these are the basics. We haven't, however, done anything in the PID tuning. First off is to check if BlackBox is wiped. It has been wiped. I have 16 meg available. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out with the current configuration on there, which I have saved. I've just saved the preset, so we'll save that back up. We'll call this pre-Manus, just so you know we are coming from the same tune. And we're going to take this out for a flight, a wiggle flight, to get some black box data. Now, before I dive into that, let me explain something. First off, I saw a couple of comments with regards to the PID tuning versus my, let's go to here, my profiles. Now, the profiles don't have an effect on prop wash or jitter or stability. It's purely stick feel. So it's worth just mentioning that. This really doesn't make a huge difference. This is just how the drone feels, okay? So what we're looking at is predominantly PID tuning, and we're going to dive back into that. For the sake of comparability to the ChatGPT tune, I will keep the same rates, all right? We'll keep the same rates, just so that we can have a comparison in between the two. Now, when it comes to PID tuning, if we look at a drone, if you get your value settings wrong, the drone will be very slow to move, but it'll be very precise in where it stops. So you're telling it you want to go back to here, and it will get there, and it will be zero overshoot, but it'll be very slow and kind of feel like you're flying through soup. On the other hand, if you get this wrong, then it will go past the point of where you want to be, and it will rebound back, and sometimes even flutter. Boing, like that. And it will shake around. So if you see like a drone that's jitting around like that, it can be the master multiplier's turned up, which has just done really bad things. So what we're aiming for is a mixture somewhere in between. We want to be able to get to that point quickly, overshoot ever so slightly, and then pull it back in line with a minor correction. And that is kind of the ideal. It's almost like that. Not like that, nice and slow, and not too fast where it does everything. Anyway, that's the basics of PID. There's a lot more to it. But like I said, I'm not Chris Rosser. See him for more information. What I am going to do, however, is unplug this little drone. We've got the radio master turned on. We're going to take this up for a very short flight, because we want a small log to be able to give to Manus. We don't have a huge amount of processing capability in terms of or storage, so we just have to be a bit mindful about the size of the log file that we generate. So I'll try and stay close to the mic on this one, unlike last time where you couldn't hear what I was saying. So let's take it up for a 30-second flight with some left to right, forward to back, and a small amount of yaw. Not that fussed about yaw. There's not a huge amount that it really does in terms of PID tuning. It either works or it doesn't. So let's get this up. Do some left, right. Do some forward, backwards. And then a bit of yaw. That will do. So we don't want anything too massive. I'm hoping it wasn't doing recording before we armed. I think it only records when we arm. Otherwise we can have a massive log. Massive log. This is the most awkward USB-C plug. If you've got one of these oddities, they're brilliant. But my goodness, the port location is just a faff.
2 hours later. The next melding.
There it is. She's in. Let's turn the controller off. Now let's go to our black box and save to flash unsupported. So we're going to do this pre-Manus, and we'll chuck that in there as well. And whilst it's doing that, we're going to hop over to the Manus screen. I'll re-upload here. So welcome to Manus. This is the Manus AI interface. We're starting out with a new task, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the pre-Manus BlackBox log and the text file, which is the CLI backup of the preset. So that's those there. Now we're going to give it some information. We're going to be really basic. Can you tune this quad as best you can? Please tune the PIDs using BlackBox logs attached. Drone is an oddity RC XI20 with an O3 DJI unit. Please check specs for weight, etc. and battery. Battery BA22RY, which is a GNB 850 mAh. I'm not going to put in any more than that. We'll just have a look and make sure all information is correct. More information is correct. I am an intermediate FPV pilot, and this will be for indoor and outdoor cine-whoop and freestyle. That's all we're going to give it. Now, what Manus is able to do is take the information we've got there. It will do its research. It will go to websites. I'm just going to hit send for now. We've got 552 credits left, which should be enough. So it's going to go out, hit some websites. It's going to create a task list of what it needs to achieve from that. And straight away it's come back with, I'll help you tune your quad using the BlackBox logs you've provided. I'll analyze the logs, check the drone spec, and optimize the PIDs for both indoor and outdoor cine-whoop and freestyle flying. Let me get started on this right away. So now it's analyzing the Betaflight CLI backup file. In fact, we can look at this live. It's also going to create a task list at some point. So straight off, it will jump into the upload of the files. It's going to read the file. Then it's going to try and analyze the BlackBox log file. For that, it's going to have to install something. So here we can see it's trying to install Python 3. There's a whole bunch of stuff already installed. Couldn't find a version that satisfied the requirement. Betaflight BlackBox tools. So it's probably going to look for an alternative now. What it's going to do is it's going to go out and find all the relevant tools that it needs. In this case, it's looking for updates in releases. Let's have a look through this list here. So pip3 install, matpilot.lib. I think that's for reading graphs. Betaflight BlackBox tools. So it's searching now for BlackBox and it's installing. Here we go. So that's its installation. And now it's going to continue with BlackBox log analysis by exploring alternative methods to extract and analyze flight data. So it still can't find something to use. So now it's looking for this other package. It's just going through and doing it. GitHub, Betaflight, blackboxtools.git. So it's found that. And it's installing that instead. So rather than hit a brick wall and say, I'm stuck, can't do anything, this is going off and finding alternative methods of opening these BlackBox log files so that it can process them and look into the PIDs. So it's updating the plan. And here we go. Here's the to-do. So this is the list that it's going to reference. And here's the tasks that it's got to complete. So by looking at the to-do.md, the analysis tasks are to analyze the CLI backup file to understand the current config, To compile and use BlackBox tools to analyze the flight logs, to extract key metrics from BlackBox logs. That includes the gyro data, PID error and motor outputs, and then research the Oddity RC XI20 specifications and weight. It's also going to verify the GNB 850 mAh battery spec, so it's going to look for weight and everything else on that, and identify current PID tuning issues from the logs. Then the tuning tasks, it's going to determine optimal PID settings for indoor and then outdoor flying. It's going to optimize the filter settings if needed, adjust the rates for cinewhoop and freestyle flying styles. So again, it's doing this based off of its PID settings and what it thinks I need. Deliverables. It's like having a PM, isn't it? Create a comprehensive tuning recommendations document. Very posh. Prepare final Betaflight CLI commands for easy application. Very nice. Provide before and after comparison of key parameters and report results to user with all necessary files. Now that's cool. So we jump back into the live. We'll see how far it's got down that list. This is continuing with BlackBox analysis by compiling and using the Betaflight BlackBox tools. Let's check through here, see what it's doing too. Here's the BlackBox tools. It's found the directory. And then it's lost the directory. It's struggling with these BlackBox tools, but I'm sure it will get there. It's trying to work out where it's gone wrong. And it might be extract key metrics. It says it's done it here. So let's find a continuing, executing command. 0 frames failed to decode, rendering 34 loop iterations unreadable. 204,130 iterations are missing in total, 75%. So this is the log decoding that it's gone through and done. So it has decoded all of them. 0 frames failed to decode. So it has looked at some of the loop iterations. Some of them are unreadable, but some of them are fine. So that's the analysis there of the PIDs and the BlackBox flight itself. It's actually converted it into a CSV there by the looks of it. Okay, back to the to-do. Where are we? Researching. So researching is now looking for the specifications on weight for the XI20. It has found the website on Oddity RC. Isn't this crazy? It's found that it's the Pro Analog version, it says there. That's not correct. But it doesn't matter. We'll give it give it a chance. So it's found the weight and the wheelbase. GNB 850 mAh 4S LiPo battery weight discharge rate, and it's also now looking at the 850 mAh. Yeah. So it's found the right battery that we're using as well. Okay. Whilst that's going on, I'm going to take a quick break and charge up this battery. In fact, we'll charge up a couple of 850s and we'll get this ready for flight. We'll come back to this and see how far it's got.
A few minutes later.
Oh, that's better. Battery's on charge. Just had some water. And I don't know what's up with my shoes or my socks today, but after I've had a little shuffle across the office, I'm touching stuff and just electrocuting myself. So that's a novel experience for today. Right, back to Manus. Let's see what's going on. So we picked up on the weight, looked at the batteries, it was looking at all this information and then updated the to-do. We then got onto the discharge of the battery, looked at the website, it scrolled down and it found a whole bunch of information on the battery specifications. Then it ran through to the CSV file that it created earlier from the BlackBox logs, and now this is the cool stuff. It's going ahead and splitting those CSVs into usable data. Here we can see it's pulling in an analysis of the data using Python and some Python scripts. So importing the data, plotting the data, so it's plotting it into graphs, into pictures. Here's the PNGs, it's creating all those for us. Then the statistics, so the roll gyro standard deviation, the pitch gyro standard deviation, yaw gyro standard deviation, average motor output, motor imbalance, and then P to D ratio. So that's proportional to derivative ratio for roll and pitch. And it's gone on the battery voltage. I'm not sure what that is. It'll be some calculation. I don't know. That doesn't look 100% correct. I think it's probably 14.1. But I don't think that's necessarily going to alter anything. It's just using that as a baseline for analysis. Here's the gyro data that it's picked up from our little flight. So here we can see the left rights, the forwards backwards, and there's the yaw. So it's got them separated out and it can see the corrections and the input and all that kind of stuff. So this is another one. This is the pitch response. This is the roll PID. Look at that. Pitch PID. So it's separated everything out. Motor outputs, so it can monitor all of the motors. And now it's updated that, saying identify current PID tuning issues from logs. It's done that. So here's the analysis, and it's telling us in here the current PID values and the current filter settings, black box analysis findings, high gyro oscillations, PID response issues, so it's picked up on those, motor performance, average motor output, motor imbalance of 36.2, which is moderate. And that could be down to in fact, yeah, let's check the props. Motor imbalance could well be down to the efficiency of the propellers. I bet you I've got one prop with a lump out of it or something. And this is why it's always important if you're doing your black box tuning yeah, there is a motor. There absolutely is. There's an imbalance on that prop because there's a lump out at the end of it. It's only tiny, but it's picked up on that. So again, really important before you do your PID tuning to go ahead and make sure you've got a good set of props on there. Because I don't, my bad, but we're going to run with this and see how it works anyway, because we're tuning it now for these props, and one with a little lump out of the prop, and that's fine. Motor spec, so weight of the drone, the dimensions, the motors, the battery, the weight of it, the discharge rate. Isn't it nuts? Okay, common issues to address. Excessive D-term activity causing oscillations. That's when we get too quick and it'll oscillate. Slightly high P-term values contributing to overshooting. That's when we go past where we want to be and it comes back. Filter settings that may need refinement for this lightweight build. Recommended PID adjustments for indoor flying Profile 1. Now that's interesting. It's given us two profiles, Profile 1 and Profile 2, and these are different PIDs. Filter adjustments for both profiles, additional information, rationale for adjustments. So yeah, it's even telling us why it's done what it's done. These adjustments should result in smoother flight characteristics, reduced prop wash, better handling, improved efficiency, and reduced motor heat, all of which are things that are good. Let's scroll further down and see what we've got to. So here we're doing the initial CLI commands for the profiles and everything else inside there. And that's where we're at. PID tuning analysis, Betaflight CLI commands, tuning recommendations. Let's look at all the files that it's created. So we've got a to-do, PID tuning analysis, tuning recommendations, Betaflight CLI commands, statistics, and then we have the files that are the BlackBox logs, and what are these ones? What are these ones? Okay, yes, so the configs. What I'm going to do is, of course, grab all of the CLI commands. Going to grab the whole lot, and I'm going to take the save off the end as always. So these are the PID profiles. Let's ask for the full block. Do you have the full CLI block? This looks like the PIDs only, and some gyro stuff. Yes, yes, I can provide you with a complete CLI block that includes all the information, recommended changes. Here's a more comprehensive CLI command that you could directly copy and paste into Betaflight. Thinking. Okay, and let's see what it's popped out now. So it is writing that. Okay. We'll take all of that info there. We'll jump straight across to our drone, which is still plugged in. We will go to the CLI and we'll see what errors. So let's just run this and see if we get any errors. Straight through, no errors. Let's do a save. That is now saved. So the first thing to do is have a quick hover test. I'm going to open up the window, get the room prepped, and I'll be right back with you.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, we are back. The only thing I've done is I've erased the flash on here, but I've also added in, under the modes, a black box logging mode here. so I can turn this on and off in flight. And the idea behind this is so that I can trigger a black box recording to see if I experience any issues. I can record that moment and then try and get the AI to react to that. So without further ado, let's take the drone out for a flight. So this is Manus V1. And again, I'll try and keep the mic here so you can hear me. Yeah, Manus V1 taken out for a flight. Let's see what happens. Hopefully not just going to run and hit the ceiling straight away. I have faith. Let's let's give it a go, see how far we get.
Pre-arm active. Armed. Pre-arm active.
Okay, nothing.
Good start.
After programming your flight controller, always reconnect the battery.
Telemetry recovered.
Okay, made a good beep this time. And hopefully you should be with the drone now. Right, well, we're up.
Horizon mode.
Take it out here and take for a flight. Okay, it's jittering. Straight off the bat, it is shaking around. I don't know if you can see that on camera. There are some oscillations. Let's set the... Oh yeah, lots of prop washing oscillations. Very shaky. Even going along in a straight line here, we're seeing some shakiness. That should be enough logging. So I enabled and disabled the BlackBox logging there. Let's see if that's enough data for it to pick up and work on. Yeah, it's still shimming. It's a nice tune, but it feels very jittery. It's definitely bumping along there. And even here you can sort of... Okay. It's doing some very odd things. Yeah, I'm struggling with that. And it was jittering around all over the shop. So that's me having a crash. Way too edgy. And then at the end there it is doing some weird kind of jiggly stuff. So let me just go and recover that drone momentarily.
A lot of boring math later.
I keep electrocuting myself. I don't know what it's... Maybe it's my shoes. Static charge everywhere. Okay. I have the drone. It's in one piece, thankfully. But yeah, just at the end of that flight, I know I'm not great at flying, but at the end of that flight, it was almost uncontrollable. I was trying to get it to yaw, and it was doing some really weird things. Then under a bit of pitch correction, when the wind hit it, that comes up the roof, it just sent it into a complete full-on flap. So that's not great. We'll save the flash. Let's grab that and go V1. Manus V1. So we'll save that flash, we'll upload that back into Manus, and we'll also give it the current tune, just so that we're squaring it off again. There is that. Completed presets. Let's save the backup. So we'll go... Pre-Manus is now Manus _ V1. When I go back in here and explain what's going on. Took it for a flight. It was twitchy and was jittering even in a straight line. I did not get the chance to check motor temps as it crashed. As I crashed. due to jittery responses. I think that's fair. Straight AI responses. Okay, what else can we say to this? I have uploaded a new black box with the jittering and the current tune. Please fix. Right, let's grab the files. Manus V1, that one and that one. Let's stick them in there. So we've got the BlackBox Log and the current tune. We'll upload that and see what it comes back with. So let's give this 5 minutes and we'll come back to this and we'll run through what it's done, check the output, upload it and take it for another flight. We're back with Manus. I thought I'd correct it on a couple of things. I did see in the data, the statistics here, it was picking up the voltage. I thought I'd correct it. Not that it really makes any difference, but basically said average battery voltage 150.2 is not right. It's off by a decimal place, 15.028. So it's taken that into consideration. What it's doing here is it's running through now the logs, the BlackBox logs again. It's showing us all of the pitch, PID, the gyro, PSD, and it's looking through all this data now to try and fix what's going on. So it's trying to move to develop a revised PID setting based on the identified cause of jittering and twitchiness. If we were to look back through here, we can see the D term is all over the place in the roll. The gyro data there is also showing a lot of trilling going on. You can see there's a lot of shakiness, and yes, some of that will be my flying, some of it will be the wind, but we're not seeing smooth, defined, swooping curves here. We're seeing a bit of a jittery mess. So that's what's going on. It's carrying on to adjust for smoother flight, so it is making some more changes. So we'll snap back to when this is completed, upload this into the CLI again, and take it for another flight. Let's see how it goes. And Manus has finished running through the data once again. So it has created a new set of commands to punch into the CLI. It thinks it's sorted out some of the jittering, so its revised settings should eliminate jittering, provide smoother control, maintain good responsiveness, reduce prop wash oscillations, and improve overall stability. I did run out of credits at the end, but there was enough to just squeak in over the line with revised Betaflight CLI commands. So we're going to take this, we're going to take profile 2, including the save, and we're just going to pop this in over here. That is now in, so we're going to the PID tuning, going to profile 2, and we will save. I'm going to copy the profile over to profile 1 as well, just to make sure that we've got that in the right place, and then we're not going to be doing anything like overwriting or not running on the correct profile. Profile 1, profile 2, right, they're the same. Jitter reduction, anti-gravity, yes, all the same, good. Let's go ahead and jump to the main camera now, and then we'll take this out for a flight. So let's jump to that. In fact, no, I can just leave it running. I can just leave it running. Let me grab a battery. There we have a freshly charged 850. And it's worth noting as well at this point that the camera stabilization is turned off, so rock steady is turned off, so you should be able to see exactly what I'm seeing through the goggles with no smoothing of the video, and that will help you guys see the jitter and any oscillations as well if they do appear. I'll try and keep the mic close to me so you can hear what I'm saying, unlike last time. So here we go, the Manus Flight V2, hopefully without the jitter.
Pre-arm active. Armed.
It feels smoother.
Horizon mode. Acro mode.
The jittering has gone. Right, let's take this for a bit of a spin. Rates feel good. There's obviously a lot of wind around today. Pullouts are pretty decent. A lot more wind today, in fact. Let's go for a little rip over here. How does this feel compared to the other tunes? This feels... It seems to be a bit more stable, I guess. Hello, cat. He loves the drone. He tries to catch it. So it feels, yeah, it feels pretty punchy. The jittering's definitely gone, which is nice. A little bit of prop wash there while scooting backwards and dropping, but again, I think that's really expected, isn't it? Hello, Winston. I don't think he liked that. Yeah, this is behaving pretty nice. The fluctuations have definitely gone. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this tune. Sync's nice. The sync rate's nice on it, so there's not anti-gravity or anything getting in the way. Yeah, I mean, flat out, still got some punch. If I didn't have the punch there, that would have been straight into the roof. Yeah, you know, this is doing a job. It's flying very well. And hopefully you can see this in the goggles as well with regards to the jitters that were there. Let's go over by the hot tub. Yeah, control's good. Feel quite connected to it. Sorry, Winston. Poor guy. Oh. Oh, tits. Right, let me go grab that.
This just in, Johnny from Will It Mod cannot fly a drone for love nor money. That's right, he's utterly, utterly useless. Now.
Round 2. Fight!
Yeah, well, that's my truck.
Meanwhile,
I got it back. A few extra scuffs and a stuff, but it's all right. It's all in one piece. It's very windy out there today. I'm not going to blame that on the wind. That was just my terrible flying. That's what happens. If you're not crashing, you're not trying, or you're just awful like I am. Carry on crashing. It's fun. So what do I think about that? That second run was definitely more stable. It was the trills and kind of frills, the wobbling and jittering had pretty much gone. There was, of course, a little bit of prop wash. We're going to get that, like I've said before. It's a small 2-inch. I think the real point here is, how did it feel to fly for me? It felt really fun. I felt really connected to it. And how does it compare with the ChatGPT tune? Well, I think that was also very capable. I felt very connected to that as well. But the difference with the Manus tune is that I can actually feel it feels tighter. It feels more locked in. And that's kind of expected. When we were talking about the PIDs earlier and what they do in terms of stopping at an angle and then the correction and rebound and so on, it just felt like if I wanted it there, it would snap to that point and stay there. It sounds odd, but it just feels tighter without being slow. And that's absolutely what you want. You want a really tight feeling quad without it feeling sluggish. You want it to be responsive and tight. And that's the difference between the Manus tune, is we're actually using the PIDs here and using BlackBox logs to refine the PIDs so that it's specific to this drone, not just a general kind of overlaying preset. Is it better? Yes, the Manus tune is better than the ChatGPT tune. It's definitely better than stock. We know that. Is it better than one of my tunes? Yes, because my tuning is terrible. Let's be honest. I can get it to a point where they can fly. I've said this before. I'm never going to show you a video on how I tune drones, because tuning a drone so far as my capabilities is terrible. I said it before. I'm not Chris Rosser. Very clever guy. So how do I feel about this? I think it's brilliant. Honestly, we're taking live data, we're shoving that into Manus, we're getting it to do the calculations, we're getting it to think about PIDs and correct those PIDs specifically. It's taking into consideration everything else like feed forward and anti-gravity and all that kind of stuff. It's a really rich output that it's giving us, which is specific to, in this case, this drone and how I was flying it earlier. So would I recommend it? Absolutely. Go ahead and do it. Get yourself on the free tier for Manus. Give it a try if you're eligible. By the way, to get onto Manus, the best way of doing it is using sort of like ChatGPT to ask it to explain why you want to use Manus, and then use that output from that prompt as the entry to Manus, because it wants you to give a reason as to why you need to use Manus. The better the explanation, and it uses AI scoring for that, then the more likelihood there is of you getting accepted onto the beta. So do that. Would I say blindly take the commands in the block and throw them at your drone? No, I'm not going to recommend that. Don't do that. That would be daft. Like I said, you could overheat the motors. You could do whatever. Cast an eye over the settings before you apply them to your drone. Please don't just blindly go into this and smash everything like I did. I'm a professional idiot, and I don't mind if I ruin my drone. And that's the whole point, is that could have ruined the drone quite happily. Worth noting as well, after that last flight, I did give it another 2-minute flight, brought it back in and felt the motors. The motors were really cool to touch. They were warm, but they weren't hot. They certainly weren't hot. If you can hold on to them for more than 10 seconds without going, ooh, then they're fine. If you do have an infrared heat gun, use that. That's what I did. My motors were hovering around about 42 degrees. So they felt warm, but they were nothing serious. There's nothing wrong there, so I know I'm not overdriving those. I think that's about it for now. If there's anything else you'd like to see, just drop a little message below in the comments section and tell me if you've tried this and how it went for you, what issues you faced, or if there's anything else you'd like me to cover. But outside of that, I've really enjoyed this one. I hope you have too, and we'll hopefully see you again soon in the next video. Stay tuned, like, comment and subscribe if you can. I really appreciate it. It makes a huge difference to this channel, just for those little thumbs ups and stuff. So get involved if you can. I'm only a little guy. I'm not doing this as a main job, but perhaps I could moving forward. You never know. Anyway, that's enough blithering from this bald idiot. I'll catch you on the next one. Ta-da!